Alon, you clearly were enjoying yourself up there and being at Dscoop. What is the best thing about Dscoop for you?
It's the people. It's the ability to interact one-to-one or in small groups and not just talk to the big audience, which is fun. But the real fun part is the human spirit that you find here.
And apart from the people, I mean, you've been with Indigo now for roughly 20 years. What's fueled your passion?
I enjoy, to quote one of the things I've learned as a child, to build and to be built. So I feel we're building something together. We're building an industry, we're building technology, but we're also learning and growing as individuals and as people. So that excites me, and every week there's something new.
And you know, it's a big question, this, but the value proposition of HP Indigo is obviously changing enormously. So how has it changed, and how has the arrival of HP and the investment of HP helped drive that?
Look, I think the vision was always, how do you enable printing to continue to be relevant in a world which is becoming digital? 20 years ago, it looked a little bit like a wild dream because the world was still analog, film, music was analog. HP acquired us when the tipping point was around the corner. So it's evolved, it's much bigger, it's more global, but I think the fundamentals are still all around how do you combine the beauty and the intimacy of printing on a paper, on a substrate, with this amazing capability of digital printing world, cloud, etc.
Innovation, you know, is driven a lot by small and medium businesses, obviously. And so how would you advise our members to drive an innovation of culture within their business?
At the end, it's around leadership and people. So I think you have to encourage your people to be able to take risks, to fail once in a while. You shouldn't take risks which are so high that if you fail, you kill your company, but you should use the time that you have when you're still profitable from a more mature business to invest into new opportunities. And if you take good people and you give them audacious goals, my experience is you'll meet them more times than you think you will.
You talked about crossing the Rubicon,
right?
So which, you know, there was no turning back at that point. So you've got to be fairly, you know, they say you make your own luck, but what is your view about that?
You know, the whole question whether Indigo can do a B2 press has been around for a long time. And first of all, you had to believe that we could do it. It was a technological major effort. You had to apply huge resources over 4 or 5 years, hundreds of millions of dollars, and you had to believe that you're going to make it and the customers are going to have it. That's from our perspective. From the perspective of the customer, you have to be one of the first to buy something for well over $1 million, euros, pounds, whatever, and to invest in your company. And obviously in the first year, it's an investment. You're never going to make money from day one on a new technology and a new venture. So all of us are making a big bet, and yes, there's really no turning back, but I think we're committed to make this happen, and we help each other, and the track record is the early innovators are here and they're thriving and they're growing, and the ones that have said, I'll be cautious and I won't invest, half of them are gone, they're out of business.
You see packaging as an opportunity for digital print. You focused on that, especially towards the end of your presentation. So for members who aren't in that niche, how should they approach that market? How should they get in?
I think first of all, packaging is important because it hasn't been touched by digital, it's still growing, it will not disappear into the cloud. The members here by definition understand digital, understand the logistics of digital, the color management, the short runs and multiple jobs. So I think over time, as we penetrate into the packaging industry, Dscoop will be able to offer the people that today are doing it conventionally a way to shorten the time to knowledge. And there will be a lot of cooperations between people that today maybe are doing photo albums or direct mail and between packaging. I don't know how it's going to evolve, and I don't think we need to know. We just have to bring the people together. They'll figure it out.
There was an example that someone gave yesterday about a guy who was a fairly unknown musician who came out with an album, and he started it on social media, and then he put out a very high value package, you know, using Crossmedia. It's very clever ideas. Do you think that's because of the very nature of the digital world, ironically, is creating big value at the high end on the print world? Is that
I think that packaging and digital go together because today you can put information on a package, you can connect to the cloud, augmented reality, you can gather information. People are starting to play with that. It's early days, but I think we're going to be blown away in the next 5 years what's going to happen here.
And one final question. Karim Rashid, the designer, almost created a world where the kind of analog and digital became irrelevant. It was just this one world, which is fast and quick and pure in a way. Is that how you see the future somehow?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'm a bit of an historian, so I actually like to look also in slices of 20, 30 years. I also believe fundamentally that if you go back 2,000 years ago to Rome, people were people. So I think we're changing. I have 4 kids. Some are a little bit older, some are younger. They're operating differently because they grew up in different environments, but I'm not sure that we're going to see this drastic change in human nature. Having that technology is changing fast, and things are getting quicker and more global, and that's fundamental to where this is going. I hope so. I hope so.
So do I. Thank you very much. That's perfect.